this what you had in mind? Hey, can you approve this? I need approval. Hey, can you approve this? Is this what you had in mind? Is this what you had in mind? Can anybody approve me? Hey, I'm Trish from Hootsuite social media team, and this is Hootsuite Labs, where we teach you the science of social media marketing, how it works, and how to be successful. Managing your social presence was hard enough when it was just you running your accounts. But as you scale up and add copywriters, designers, strategists, lawyers, creative directors, customer success agents, video editors, and Sammy from compliance, you've got a lot of cooks in the kitchen. Some would say too many cooks, and they're all hangry. Well, it's time to go Gordon Ramsay on this place and streamline your social media workflow.
You donkey!
I'll show you how to in 7 steps.
Oh, my ears, ah!
Sorry, Ryan, in 7 easy steps. Okay, how to streamline your social media workflow. Step 1, review your current system. Start by understanding what your current workflow looks like. What does it take to get a post prepared and out the door? What ingredients do you need on a day-to-day basis? And once it's been served to your audience, how do you know if it was well received? The main stages of a social media workflow are 1, ideation, coming up with the ideas for posts or campaigns. 2, content creation, writing, designing, and/or filming your posts, as well as getting your hashtags and URLs lined up. 3, revisions. This is where copy editors, creative directors, and strategists weigh in, as well as a subject matter expert, and it can be time-consuming. 4, approvals. This is where legal and compliance folks give their thumbs up, and it's a huge opportunity for streamlining, if you hadn't noticed. And we'll cover that in step 5. The next stage is posting, or if you've got your together, scheduling your posts ahead of time.
Hey, I don't like swears.
Stage 6 is engagements. As you know, running social for a brand means the comments are never just heart eyes or fire emojis. You've got customer service queries, customer service complaints, sales leads, community management, DMs, etc., etc., etc. If this is your biggest time suck, skip ahead to step 6 in the timestamps. Stage 7 is analyzing. This is when you look at your metrics and see how successful your content was at achieving your goals. Then make a report and send it to your boss and everyone else so that they can compliment you. My colleague Deepa has a full video on making social media reports if you are curious about how we do it here at Hootsuite. And finally, the last stage, stage 8, is social media listening. Not just scrolling your feeds, but actively paying attention to industry trends and conversations, participating where it's appropriate or on brand to do so, and gathering inspo for stage 1, ideation. The circle is now complete. Next, it's time for step 2, assigning roles and responsibilities for each stage in the workflow. Who is responsible for coming up with the ideas? Me. Who is in charge of creating and gathering assets? Also me. Who responds to messages? Also me. And who needs to give final approval before it's posted? Liz. The key here is to delegate tasks and provide clear expectations so that everyone knows what their role is. The structure of your workflow will depend on the size of your team, how many channels you manage, and the kinds of regulations and policies your company adheres to. Step 3 is getting clear on the rules of your industry. You need to understand your industry regulations around social media for your workflow to be efficient. For example, if you work in healthcare, you'll want to make sure that everyone with access to your social media accounts is very familiar with HIPAA guidelines, so that you don't waste time coming up with ideas that you'll later have to kill. Meanwhile, if you work in finance, part of your approval process is going to include sending posts and comments not just to the copy editor, but to legal or compliance to make sure you're not making any illegal promises. And in a lot of industries, it's mandatory to save or archive all of your published content and metadata, including comments and DMs, and also those approval trails that show who saw what before it became public. Of course, if you have a tool like Hootsuite, we can set you up to archive everything automatically, and you'll be able to set up a unique, customizable approval workflow within our software, so you don't need to run all over the office and send a dozen emails. Step 4, use a social media calendar to plan ahead. No one wants to be approving posts the day they go live, so scheduling everything ahead of time is key. A content calendar can help you plan out your social media posts in advance. You can map out topics, frequency of posts, and approval timelines to ensure all content is on brand and adheres to your internal standards. Also make sure you set clear cadence or timelines so everyone knows when they need to review and approve content. This might look like creators delivering first drafts on Monday, editors giving feedback on Tuesday. Positive only, please. creators delivering final drafts on Wednesdays, approvals happening on Thursdays, and next week's content is all lined up and scheduled every Friday. Of course, some content needs a longer gestation period. If it's a part of a big quarterly campaign, for instance, you might be writing tweets and making carousel posts months in advance. And on some days, you might just drop everything to hop on a trending TikTok audio. Step 5 is setting up an approval process. You want everyone on the same wavelength when it comes to approval. All of your content goes through the gauntlet of rude criticism.
Looks like chicken, tastes like
efficiently. For this, you'll want to use a project management tool or social media management tool like Hootsuite to keep track of who needs to approve content when. Ideally, you'll want to streamline this process so that all stakeholders can approve posts in one place. At Hootsuite, we use Hootsuite, obviously. But we also use Write. Write tracks our content through stages 2 and 3, creation and revision, so that all our creative geniuses know who's doing what, when. And we use Hootsuite for stages 4 through 8. Let me show you how I set up an approval process in Hootsuite. First, I go to my profile and select Manage Accounts and Teams. Because I'm a super admin, I have this little Manage button as well as the Pause button that pauses all of our scheduled content right here. I select that and then I can pick one of our organization's social accounts. Today, I want to edit our Facebook approvals. I select the settings icon, press settings, and here's custom approvals. I click the gearbox, click edit custom approvals, and now I can set up 1 to 3 layers of approvals. So first approval goes to Alan, our copy editor. After that, the post gets bumped to the legal team. It often makes sense to have an entire team of approvers instead of just one person. That way, if someone isn't available to approve content, someone else can step in. When the post is ready for them to look at, approvers get a push notification in their dashboards, but they can also set up email notifications too. They can make minor edits, accept it as is, or reject it outright. Rude. Meanwhile, I can see if there are any posts waiting for approvals right in my calendar or in my content view, so I know who to start sending emails to. Just kidding, I never have to send any emails.
No!
Okay, step 6 is where I streamline our engagements using Inbox. Engagement is another time-intensive stage in our social media workflow, where collaboration is supposed to make your job easier, but without the right tools, it can just muddy the waters. Like 2 people responding to the same message. The technical term is agent collision, or spending hours trying to find an answer for a question that would take Lewis in customer service 3 minutes. Hootsuite can automatically assign messages and comments to the right person on my team, which cuts our response time down like crazy. It also tracks the whole conversation you've ever had with a person across all their social profiles, which saves time and is also delightful. Because it's nice knowing that someone is a dog person or a cat person or a parakeet person. And when it comes to compliance or just generally staying on brand, we keep a bank of pre-approved replies I can grab at any time. Inbox is honestly my favorite thing about Hootsuite. It saved me so much time and stress since we launched it. I should send flowers to my developers.
No thanks.
Okay, step 7, the final step. This one is harder than it sounds. Be flexible. Don't be afraid to change the process if it's making your team's jobs harder, not easier. As platforms rise and fall and your business goals pivot and pivot again, you'll want to reassess and adapt. For example, if your team is growing, you might want to add additional steps or responsibilities to the workflow. Or if you're focusing on a new goal or campaign, you may need to adjust who's in charge of what tasks or how often they should be done. Ask your team for feedback and don't be afraid to volunteer yours. Just keep it not mean. Am I right?
Yes.
Thank you. And that's it. That's the essential recipe for streamlining your social media workflow. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to get notified when we put out new videos. So go get cooking!
All right, that's enough. That's enough. No more swearing. I really don't like it. Please, I'm serious about this.